Hi, this is Trey Passer. Welcome to my review of episode 5 of Doom Patrol, the DC streaming service. This one is called Paw Patrol, okay? And and this review is going to have spoilers in it, okay, for anybody that's watching this, in case you don't want to watch. I guess you can turn to another video, but this review is going to have spoilers on it, because that's the way I want to talk about this episode. This show is just amazing. The writing is just incredible, and the acting, and this is, again, a really strong show. Anyway, we last left off with the book being read, okay, and basically the world is getting ready to end, okay. So the D creator is basically an eye in the sky as we open up this episode, and it's slowly zapping people and getting rid of people, and the world, according to the Constantine ripoff guy that's in the friend of Miles Calder that's there. He said the world space is going to end in 19 minutes as this episode opens, and you see examples of the eye zapping and basically destroying, things one at a time, people, one, two, and then also we get the return of the cockroach that was in episode 1. That I think his name is Larry. I think. Don't quote me directly, but the cockroach that was ranting and raving. That's voiced by Curtis Armstrong, who played Booger in the Revenge of the Nerds movies. In case anybody recognize that voice, but that's who it is. He plays that cockroach. So we have him again ranting and raving as people are getting disintegrated and the world is ending, basically, and he's basically saying how his creatures are going to rise up again. And then he has a conversation with a rat who's basically wondering how he's going to get his cheese. And the cockroach kind of reassures him that, how hard can it be? Isn't it fungus and what did he say, milk and fungus or something like that? That's how you make cheese. So that part was absolutely hilarious. Anyway, so we're back in the mansion, and Vic is extremely mad at the Constantine ripoff guy, basically saying, we could have stopped this. We could have stopped this. And of course, Rita is distraught that this kid, Elliot, she goes out to him, and she kind of, that's what actually got Rita to actually start caring. When she saved him when he was going to kill himself in the last episode. And so she's distraught that, she goes to him to talk to him and, and tell him that, tries to reassure him that things are going to be all right. and even she tells him, listen, let's, since the world is ending anyway, let's do something. You want to eat something, you want to go somewhere, do something that you've never done before. But before he can say anything, the D creator zaps him out of existence. Okay, and then we go back to Neuromind, where we see Crazy Jane, who's been reduced to a young girl, and Larry has been, Robot Man has been reduced to just a brain, and they're having she's pleading, Crazy Jane, the little girl's pleading with, with the mother figure who raised the book to, restore Robot Man back to what he was, and then later we see that they do. We see them exit the castle, and Robot Man is flipping out and losing it. He's saying F this place, F this snow, and F this, and F Crazy Jane, her personality. I forgot that personality is, which is like a unique young like British girl, and he actually in his fury he makes a snowball and throws it, and it hits what you think hits the camera, which actually is a glass. And then we find out that they're actually in a snow globe. That's where Neuroheim is in a snow globe, and and his reaction is priceless to finding that out. Okay, and then of course we actually get to visit Mr. Nobody in whatever weird space he is with Niles, the chief. Okay, and he starts freaking out and getting angry because the creator is destroying everything, and what's the point? He can't rule over nothing. Okay, and Miles, and he stops torturing Niles for a minute, and Niles said, listen, there's a way to stop this creator. Okay, there's a plan, there's a way. It's a bit wonky, he says in his best British voice, but we have to, it's a plan that we have to do. And so reluctantly, Mr. Nobody agrees to it because he doesn't want to rule over nobody. If everybody's gone, if the world's going to end, there's nothing to rule over. Okay, So, and then we get a hint of the plan. And in this episode, we get to see more of Crazy Jane's background. You see her in a club, in a punk rock club, okay, dancing around and going crazy. And you see her punch out a few skinheads, and then she gets, knocked out by the cops and taken to the crazy house sanitarium, which looks like she's been to before, that she's actually escaped from in the past, okay. And we see how they're how she's constantly giving them lip, and it's more of her hammerhead personality, and they're abusing her and stuff. And then you even see a doctor that's kind of torturing her, and then we get to see what Mr. Nobody's plan is. And Mr. Nobody's plan is basically he needs to get one specific person to create this plan, okay. And that person is Crazy Jane, but not Crazy Jane. It's her personality of Dr. Harrison, who's basically basically a doctor, crazy doctor, but a doctor nonetheless. And we see her when she flips the switch, when Mr. Nobody makes her personality come out to Dr. Harrison, and you see her basically turn the doctor that was torturing her. She turns his therapy on him, literally, but just to. And we see Dr. Harrison. We can tell Dr. Harrison because she has like a streak in her hair like Rogue, and her eyes are a different color, are white, and she talks just like a therapist, and she literally gets him to stop torturing her. And we get to see what their plan is. And their big plan is to have Dr. Harrison form a cult, have her form a cult, and come up with a recreator. Okay, so we have the decreator, and now we're gonna have a recreator. So she's gonna she goes and she actually gets all the mental patients together, and basically gets them to start a cult. And this cult is going to be the recreator, and they come up with this scheme that the recreator is going to be like I said, he's going to be the anti-decreator, and he'll come out exactly when the decreator comes, and that recreator will come out, and he'll be the one to stop all the world, all the destruction, and restore people. And first you think it's going to be a person, and even the Doom Patrol thinks it's a person, but later we find out that actually one of the mental patients says, why not first they say, first they suggest a man, and then they say, why a man, why not just pick a woman? And then they go, why, and then the one guy says, why not a dog? I like dogs. So they pick a dog to to be the recreator, and they actually put the wordings, the book on the dog, but you only see it once the bell is rung, okay. And Dr. Harrison comes up with a plan that she has this one specific patient is supposed to come to her, okay. Once the decreation starts, that mental patient is going to come to Dr. Harrison and tell her it's time to ring the bell, okay, which will bring out, and it brings out that other personality of Dr. Harrison from Crazy Jane, and her and Robot Man go, and she rings the bell, which makes the recreator appear, okay. And because they get the dog, they find the dog, and they start reading the words off of his belly, because they can see it now that the bell is ringing, and they read it, and then everybody that got zapped restores, comes back to life, okay. And that's how they stop the world from ending. Of course, like I said, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but Niles, they can actually see Niles. He actually comes back, but it's only temporarily. Dr. Nobody only lets him out so he can help guide the Doom Patrol to finding the dog, so they can do their read the dog and restore everything. So they can't really talk, because I think even Cyborg tries anytime anybody mentions Dr. Nobody, he gets he gets physically ill, and they say he has like a ticking time bomb in him. In case anybody keeps mentioning the name, he's gonna blow up. So they only have him, and Niles can walk. This temporary version of Niles can walk, okay. And they go, and once the world is saved, okay, he says goodbye to his old fake, the fake Constantine. He leaves, and then they're getting get ready to say his goodbyes. He wants to say goodbye, his goodbyes to the team, because that's the deal he made with Mr. Nobody. He can only be there temporarily, and so he tries to say his goodbyes. He says goodbye to Rita, but then the other members of Doom Patrol, they won't let him go. And then of course Mr. Nobody kind of freezes time and makes it go slowly, and then he yanks yanks Miles back to wherever he was, to where nowhere, I guess, where they can continue his torturing of the chief. Okay, and then we see actually Vic, he had pulled out his arm cannon, and since they slowed down time, and once he zapped the chief out of the way, he actually turns his camera, turns his arm cannon around and accidentally blasts the team. And then you see his arm, I think they build up, his arm gets damaged, and then he has a like an emergency beacon in his neck, that's, or his head, I think, that's going off, and he's trying, they're trying to, other members of Doom Patrol are trying to help him, but they can't. He doesn't want to be helped because that beacon, if he hit the beacon, that his father will come, and so he kind of doesn't want them to do that. But they said, no, okay, you're hurting and you need help, and Robot Man pushes it, and then his computer system, I think, takes over, and it starts automatically healing him. And then later you see he gets a call from his father, and which he completely ignores. And this episode was really quite good. I mean, we got to see the chief interacting in person with the members of the Doom Patrol. We got to see Crazy Jane, another personality, Dr. Harrison, and that actress, Diane, I think her name is Diane Ruggiero, I think that's her name. I may be butchering her last name, but she is a fantastic actress. We got again to see another personality of her, the Dr. Harrison personality, which is just, she is really, really good. I mean, that actress she is actually killing it as Crazy Jane, all her personalities. And again, we see another side of another softer side of Rita, which started like in that last episode, but you get to see another part of that episode because you see her trying to comfort the kid outside, and then he vanishes, and then after everything is over, she goes to to Chief and asks him, "Do you think he survived?" And the Chief is he kind of tells her, you can tell that kid's not coming back, and you see it more, she's starting to care. Okay, and we even have a brief interaction between the Chief and Larry, where Negative Man, where they're talking about when he saw the interview tapes, where the spirit was the Chief was communicating with the spirit, so they had to have they had their little private time for that. And this show is, like I said, this show is just really really going good, because again at the end of it, the Chief is gone again. So they still have to rescue him from Negative Man. Excuse me, not from Mr. Nobody. Okay, and we see Cyborg again. His body, I think he doesn't like to be dependent on his dad, obviously. Okay, which is why he didn't want them to press the button to signal his father. Okay, and I also think it's part to do because his body will do the self-healing thing. Okay, and I think he didn't want to do it because he wouldn't let them come near him at first, even though they were trying to help him. And he's fiercely independent. He doesn't want to be dependent on his father to help him. He wants to be independent. And there's a great little speech he has too, a conversation he has with Miles, where they're arguing back and forth, where he's saying, "Listen, I thought I came here to rescue you," because Miles is telling him, "Why are you here?" He said, "I came to rescue you, but now I see you working with guys that are shady, like the Constantine ripoff guy, and obviously he knew Mr. Nobody as well, so it's kind of shattered the illusion that Vic had about this guy being like a surrogate father to him, because to Vic things are black and white, either you're a good guy or a bad guy, and so that relationship is not as what it once was." Okay, and again, this show is just absolutely fantastic. This episode was really good. Again, we got the return of I think Larry's the cockroach. We got return of him. We got Mr. Nobody coming back. He even mentioned fourth wall that he has been in 2 episodes. That I thought was fantastic. Okay, we got to see another personality of Crazy Jane. Again, that actress is actually killing it. Is Crazy Jane. I absolutely love her. She's absolutely killing it with the personalities and stuff. And so, and I think this show is really, it's getting better and better. Okay, I love it. This is the 5th episode, and I absolutely love this show. I can't wait to see more. And anyway, so I'm gonna give this episode. I give this episode like an 8 out of 10, just because of the different things we saw in there. We got the return of the Chief. We got return of Mr. Nobody. We got Larry the Cockroach returning back. We got another personality of Crazy Jane, Dr. Harrison. Okay, we got to see more of Crazy Jane's backstory, which I thought was really good as well. Seeing showing her backstory and stuff. And then I forgot to mention at the end, we got to see Mr. Nobody goes to he tells Dr. Harrison to remember this name. I'm going to come to you, and you remember this name, and then you don't hear what the name is. Then later, we find out when when he sees her later, she goes, what the hell is Doom Patrol? Okay, and so I thought that was really a fun way that Mr. Nobody planted that seed in her head of Doom Patrol. Okay, so again, this show is just fantastic, exceeding expectations to me, and I absolutely love it. Again, 8 out of 10 for me for this episode. Anyway, in the next episode, just a little sneak preview, because I always watch a sneak preview. It's going to be the return of the old Doom Patrol. Okay, so I'm definitely interested in seeing that. Okay, so anyway, let me know what you think. Doom Patrol episode 5 called Puppy Patrol. What do you think of it? Feel free to leave comments down below, and let me tell you what tell me what to think of this episode. I have links to my social media in the description box, my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram. I also have a link to my other channel called News and Opinions. Please check that out as well. And this is Trey Pastor saying so long and take care.